Bottoms up. My mini bar doesn't have margaritas, so I hope you guys are enjoying a margarita. If you saw the post a minute ago, talking about this live video. I'll turn this around so you can see something besides the balcony. So, hey guys, you just missed some shouting, so there's some people having fun in the pool down there. I promise this will be kind of quick. Well, hopefully kind of quick. I do want to go through kind of a breakdown of some of the COVID protocols that I've experienced, because there has been some variability in the time that we have been here. So just a recap, I am currently at the Hotel Ryu Palace Peninsula. It's it behind me. That's kind of a good view, so maybe I'll let you check that out instead of me the whole time. But we have, so this was a hosted trip, just to let you guys know. So what that means is that there's a group of about 15 travel agents here, and we are here to experience a bunch of different resorts. We've done a lot of different resort tours. We did an excursion today. We've done, it's been a very busy trip, so it's been a very tiring trip, but a lot of good information to then pass on to you guys. So I did a video on the kind of airport experience, talking about how I felt safe flying, things along that line, and I wanted to kind of touch on the resorts because I know a lot of you have questions about what it's like to be here in Mexico or somewhere else. So Mexico is one of the destinations that is not requiring a COVID test, so it's pretty easy to get here. Some of the others, Jamaica, for one, is asking you to go through testing, so we won't go into that, but we have toured, I think, 10 different resorts, including the one that we're staying at right now. I will start off by saying that I have never felt unsafe. There has been a little bit of variability in how resorts are handling COVID, so I'm going to walk you through everything from after the airport on, so you can get an idea. Particularly for those of you who have traveled to all-inclusives before, there are going to be a couple of things that are different. You will still have a good experience. I don't think there's going to be anything that's really going to impact your vacation a whole lot, but I do think you need to go in with, just managed expectations. It is different. So when you get off go through customs and immigration at the airport, you're going to meet your transfer driver, and the first thing that's going to be different is they are not going to handle your luggage. So you will take your luggage to the car or to the bus, not a big deal, and then they're going to spray it down with a disinfectant. At that point, they will load it into the transfer vehicle, and you will not touch it again until it gets into your room. Okay, so riding on the transfer, you'll be asked to keep your mask on. They'll give you hand sanitizer. They might check your temperature. That was a little inconsistent. Some of the drivers were, some of them were not. But they'll run through kind of the COVID protocol so you know what to expect before you get on the bus. And then once you get to the resort, they'll tell you same kind of thing on your drive. So you'll kind of know what to expect when you get there. Once you get to your resort, and this is across all of the ones that we have seen, this part at least is pretty consistent. You will get off your transfer, and you will be asked to sanitize your hands again. And you're wearing your mask the whole time, okay, so keep that in mind. You've got your mask on. You'll do your hand sanitizer. They will take a temperature check. Some of these are a little bit different. So here at this particular Ryu, I filmed it. You walk in and there is the sensor that takes your temperature. A couple of the other resorts had the handheld thermometers that they hold up to your forehead, or sometimes the side of your neck, just to get a read on it and see what your temperature is. Don't be alarmed. It is going to show your temperature in Celsius, so it'll say 36 point whatever. But nobody in our group has been flagged at any time. I will say I was a little, curious. Several of us were. You're hot. It's hot and sticky. So is your temperature, automatically going to be a little bit higher just because of the heat? And what they have told us is they recognize that that's going to happen. And so in those situations, typically what they'll do is they'll ask people to, okay, go through the screening form. How are you feeling? Things like that. If they feel okay, don't have symptoms, don't have any risk factors, they'll kind of set them off to the side for a little while, let them cool off, and then take their temperature again, so that they can see, was it just that they're hot and tired and sweaty and stressed and all of that. So you get your temperature taken, check in, and again, if you want to see, at least at the Ryu, kind of the procedure for all of this, the video should be in the group, a couple posts down. You go through check-ins pretty easy. You are not going to be touching a whole lot of things. Most of the resorts have gone either completely paperless or mostly paperless. So it's going to be either they ask you to download an app on your phone. So that's important. You'll need to know that you've got either data or you'll need to get Wi-Fi at the resort. So keep that in mind once you're leaving the U.S. I have used my phone every day, and I don't typically do that, so it's been a lot more plugged in. So you'll either get on the app, or they'll have a tablet right there for you with kind of a protective screen on it. A couple of them used, it's not a Ziploc bag, but it kind of looks like a Ziploc bag, to swap it out between each person. So you'll answer a screening form similar to the one that you got on the airplane, and then you will, from there, your check-in will be relatively normal. The other thing that's different is your room, and this is a big area where it was very different between resorts. So some of the resorts are putting a sticker on the door after they clean the room in between guests. A couple of the resorts are making sure that each room is empty for a minimum of 24 hours. We were at one resort where they're actually bringing in an outside company. So housekeeping will do the first cleaning, and then they'll bring in an outside company to disinfect the room and then to come in. So that's a big area of variability. This particular resort is not doing the stickers, and I kind of wish they were. That would be, don't get me wrong, this has been perfectly clean. I haven't felt worried at all, but I think that's a nice touch. So particularly if you are, really concerned about COVID, that's the kind of difference that you want to be on the lookout for. Some of the resorts are also, in terms of your experience at the resort, so that's pretty much the check-in and arrival, and that's, I think, where you're going to see the biggest difference, just in how things are, that you need to be aware of. The rest of it is not really significant. You'll be asked to wear a mask inside. In every resort that we were in, that was without question. You'll see staff are wearing masks. Some of the staff are wearing face shields, some are wearing face shields and masks, so it just depends on the resort. I will say that with the exception of one resort, all of the staff were wearing their masks properly, nose and mouth covered. And the one resort that wasn't, it wasn't all staff, but that kind of stuff just does stick out a little bit when you see, what people are doing. So that's what I mean when I say there are some differences. Outside, you don't have to wear a mask, and in a restaurant, you'll need to, wear it if you go up to a buffet, for example. But once you sit down at the table, you can take it off, and that's fine. Speaking of buffet, that's another big area of difference between the resorts. Many of the resorts have gone to served buffets, so they have glass shields in front of the food, so you can look at the food and you can still pick it out, but you have to tell someone what you want, and the way that they approach that is a little different. One resort actually had pre-portioned serving, so they basically just gave you a plate. They didn't handle your food at all, other than the initial preparation. Some resorts had, kind of the serve, like the cafeteria style, where they put it on your plate, that kind of thing. Several of them had buffet as normal. People are still going up. Everyone is still handling the serveware. Plates are out in the open, things like that. So again, a little bit of variability. Temperature checks when you go into restaurants seem to be pretty consistent. However, I have seen that they're not really looking at the thermometer. They're just kind of holding it up. So I think there is a bit of people are getting a little bit lax in some of that. Guests are not having any issues. Nobody's, everyone's giving you your space, in other words. You'll see a lot of markings on the floors and the elevators. I think I had those in my video the other day, where they're trying to limit capacity. For the most part, there's not really anyone enforcing that. And that does not apply if you're a family or a group traveling together. And if you're a family of 5, family of 6, if you can fit in the elevator, they'll let you all in the elevator. Room service, for the most part, is still running. A couple of the resorts have turned it off, which is a little bit interesting. Swim-up bars are kind of across, it's a mixed bag. Some of the resorts have swim-up bars operating normally, some of them don't. The ones that don't seem to have pretty good drink service, pretty consistent drink service, so I'm not sure that that is necessarily going to be a deal breaker. It'll just be a little bit different if you're used to having a swim-up bar, and if your resort has it closed. The gym and the spa will be lower capacity, so some of the resorts you'll need to make an appointment for the gym, which isn't really a big deal. It's just you have to think about it. You can't just necessarily walk in like you would be used to. And same thing at some of the restaurants. You know, some of the resorts are closing certain restaurants. Maybe they won't have all 5 of them open every night, and so sometimes you'll be asked to make a few more reservations that you wouldn't necessarily do outside of all of this COVID experience. I'm trying to think what else. I know this is a lot. In terms of entertainment, that appears to be going on as normal in some of the resorts. Some of them have limited it to just like a piano bar. Where we are now at Ryu, it's pretty much, live show is going on as normal. Again, you're supposed to wear your masks anytime you're in a big crowd of people, and for the most part, people are doing that pretty well. Let's see, what else is different? The excursion today that we did, we went on a snorkeling tour, and that was interesting. I was curious how they'd handle that. So if you are interested in a snorkeling tour and you like to do that, bring your own snorkel. The ones that they're using now are, they have disposable mouthpieces. So the tube, I think they reuse the tube, but the actual mouthpiece is going to be sealed, and they'll give that to you. In fact, they ask you not to open it until they can see it, so that they can then take the plastic bag so it doesn't end up in the ocean, which was kind of nice. Otherwise, the crew were wearing masks the whole time, and we were left to our own devices because we'd been traveling together for the whole week. I have not done the departure experience yet, obviously, so we'll see how that is different, but I think those are the high points on kids clubs, kids activities. That's a big one. Those for the most part are shut down. It doesn't look like, I don't think any of the resorts, well, no, I take that back. One of the resorts had their kids club open. Some of them did have a few activities that staff were doing with kids, but they were really, really trying hard not to get the kids together at most places. So I know a lot of you have popped in here, and I apologize for not giving you a shout out. Here, consider this your global shout out, and let me grab my unopened beer, but I will cheers you. How about that? I hope you've got your margaritas or whatever you're doing, drinking tonight. So I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I'll give you another view of I don't know if you can see the sunset. It's really, really pretty out there. But I know it's Saturday night and you guys are doing something fun. So let me know what other questions you have. If I missed something major, I don't know if I did, but probably. Let me know what it is, and I'll try to cover that for you. And check out the video of the arrival, and I'll probably do another one of departure tomorrow, but I leave at like 6 a.m. so I don't expect any of you to be here live for that. So thanks for hanging in, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye, guys.